I'm not going to say anything that will prevent you from going home. You can go wherever you want, as long as I don't mind. However, I want you to know how I have treated you and how you have acted toward me. As is proper, I will start with my father, Philip. You were just common people when he discovered you. You were caring for a few sheep on the slopes of the mountains, wearing skins, and you could hardly protect them from your neighbors. You started to live in cities with good laws and cultures under his rule. And he made you masters over those very barbarians who had plundered your land instead of you being slaves. He took control of the majority of Thrace, capturing the best harbors to promote trade and wealth, and he set the mines to constant operation. The Thessalians used to make you shudder. Well, we now dominate them. The Athenians and Thebans, who were always eager to invade Macedonia, were so humbled by our little contribution to the war that they came to rely on us for defense rather than Macedonia for tribute. My dad traveled to the Peloponnese and organized their home. Subsequently, he was named the supreme leader of all the Greeks in the campaign against the Persians, an honor that applied to all Macedonians, not just to him. My father Philip did this for you. Excellent on its own, but nothing in comparison to what you've learned from me. Even though the Persians still controlled the seas at the time, I crossed the Hellespont. I overthrew the satraps of the great King Darius, installed you as the emperors of Ionia, Aeolus, Lydia, and Phrygia, and laid siege to Miletus. The remaining lands voluntarily submitted, and their riches was appropriated by you. You now possess all of the wealth that I gained without a struggle in Egypt and Cyrene. You own Syria, Palestine, Mesopotamia, and Babylonia. The riches of Lydia, the gems of India, the riches of Persia, and the riches of the outer seas. You are satraps now. You are captains and generals. Aside from this purple cloak and diadem, what have I kept to myself? Nothing. Man can only point to the things I have in trust for you all. He cannot point to my wealth. In any case, what would I do with them? I consume the same food as you. You get more sleep than I do. I've often kept vigil through the night to ensure you had a restful night's sleep. Is there anyone here who thinks he's put in more effort for me than I have for him? Hurry up. Please take off your clothes and show me your scars. I'll reveal mine to you. Not a single area of my body is unwounded, not on the front either. Every kind of weapon you can imagine, swords, arrows, stones, clubs, has left wounds all over my body. All for the sake of your prosperity, fame, and lives. And yet, here I am once more, guiding you as the conqueror of the plains, rivers, mountains, and sea. Together, we have celebrated our nuptials. My own cousins will be many of your offspring. Despite the fact that you get a good wage and pillage every city we capture, I have paid off your debts without questioning how you obtained them. Many of you wear golden crowns, which I have bestowed upon you as symbols of honor and bravery. Every single one of us who was murdered and who went down in glory was buried with full honors. In Macedonia, several people are now immortalized with bronze statues. There is no taxation, and their families are respected. But since you're all willing to leave, then let's all leave. Bring them word of your king, Alexander, who vanquished the Persians, Medes, Bactrians, and Scythians, and is currently ruling over the Parthians, Chorasmians, and Hyrcanians up to the Caspian Sea. He has marched over the Hindu Kush mountains, crossed the Tanais and Oxus rivers, and even crossed the Indus, the first since Dionysus. If you hadn't shrunk in terror, I too would have crossed the Hyphae. Who, from the entrance of the Indus, sailed into the Great Sea and crossed the desert of Gedrosia. where no army had ever been led before, while my navy navigated the Persian Gulf, who abducted Carmenia. When you return home, you tell them that you left him to be protected by the foreigners you had subjugated and left Susa when you returned home. It's possible that this report of yours may appear honorable to the gods and magnificent to the people. Go now.